हेलो दोस्तों, गुड मॉर्निंग। हाँ, तो सबसे पहले दोस्तों ज़रूरी है कि हम ये डिस्क्लेमर पढ़ लें that I am not a SEBI registered advisor. All the information provided by me are for educational and informational purposes only. Future and options stocks trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. You should not engage in trading unless you fully understand the nature of transaction you are entering into and the extent of your exposure to the loss. So this is what is known as multi-time frame analysis and synchronization of the momentum of various time frames. This was the high made by the price and this was the high made by RSI. Now price has made a new high and similarly RSI also has made a new high. That means on the daily chart so far the divergence or the fatigue has not appeared. Similarly, on 75-minute chart, price is moving and no divergence. But only on 15-minute chart, there is a divergence indicating that if there is any dip, it has to be seen with the help of 15-minute chart only. And because the higher time frame is showing unrelented momentum, so there is more chance that the dip will be very shallow or mostly the market will move sideways. If the here the thumb rule is that the higher time frame momentum will be given more weightage and lower time frame momentum will be given less weightage. So because in 75-minute and and daily charts RSI is not weak, but it is weak only in 15-minute chart. That is why I wrote yesterday that you have to buy all dips. So this is the first support. So if price falls, it will fall around this point. And then at this point, looking at the candlestick formation, you can go long. Now coming to Bank Nifty, as you are asking, yesterday also somebody had asked me in our Telegram group also, I had drawn this particular shark pattern, if you remember, on Twitter also I had posted this shark pattern. This is known as shark harmonic pattern, and you can very easily go to and Google it and find it. I had mentioned that as per this shark pattern, a target of 23 to 50 I had mentioned, and today morning it made a high of 23,208. So broadly, this particular shark pattern has completed. Now our next target is we can draw a trend line like this from joining these two tops. So there is a chance, because here I cannot see a divergence as of now. There is a very good chance that we may try and test this particular trend line also, which is moving around 23,600, I would say. So is now what you are asking is that whether why I am drawing a rectangle. The purpose of that rectangle is to just simplify your observation. See, if I draw the rectangle here and I draw the rectangle here, the purpose of rectangle is whether the price is making new low and RSI is making new low or not. It is only a visual representation to compare the movement of the two, the price as well as RSI. Now, when we draw this rectangle, visually it becomes easier to understand that yes, price is making a new low, but RSI is not making a new low. That is the purpose of drawing this rectangle. There is nothing special about it. There is no software which is doing it for me. I am doing it all manually. Okay, dear.
Okay, sir. Sir, I want to ask that if I want to see a previous high while drawing the RSI, so I have to mark both this high and previous high, and I have to see that whether it is the previous high has been breached.
Yeah, RSI is basically to when the price is moving up, it doesn't move up in a straight line. The price always moves up in swings, whether it is 5-minute swing or whether it is a 1 hour swing, whether it is 30-minute swing, in whichever time frame you want to see the swing, and then you have to compare the swing in RSI with the swing in price and see if there is a divergence or not. See, there is a gentleman, Wilson Paul, is asking, sir, please talk about hidden divergence and how to use it. Wilson, hidden divergence is a sort of advanced course, and if you want to understand it, you will have to pay me some money and join my monthly course. It is not possible to take up that particular topic in this webinar like this. Sunny Dua is saying, how do you correlate RSI and long-term price action movement for heavy momentum stocks like Reliance and Dixon? See, heavy momentum or low momentum is not the issue. Issue is the volume. It has been my observation that the F&O stocks where the traded volume is very high or very good, we can look for the divergence and the swings and the correlation between the price swing and uh, RSI swing. Basically, when we are talking about divergence, that is a correlation between the swing in RSI and swing in price. And by hit and trial, you have to see which particular time frame is showing which swing. For example, you see this is the price swing, and this price swing is coinciding with exact swing of RSI. So for each stock, by hit and trial, you have to see which time frame is coinciding better with the price swings, and then you have to choose that particular time frame. It is more done by hit and trial. Different stocks, sometimes we find a better correlation in 75-minute swing and price swing. Sometimes we find a better correlation between 60-minute, and sometimes we find in 30-minute. You have to keep on doing hit and trial and trying to find it. In F&O stocks, it is very easy, but sometimes I have found in cash stocks, it is not that easy. Cash stocks, they remain dormant for a very long time, and suddenly on one fine day, they will get up and move 20%. So in cash stocks, I would say it is less reliable. The divergence will remain appearing for a longer duration, and it may frustrate you. But in F&O stocks and in index, it is, I would give it 70 marks out of 100. On a scale of 10, I would rate it to 7. Yeah, anybody, any question?
Yeah, hi sir, this is Dhiren.
Yeah, Dhiren, please.
या सर कैश स्टॉक्स में सर ट्रेलिंग स्टॉप लॉस कैसे कर सकते हैं हम?
भाई ट्रेलिंग स्टॉप लॉस के अलग अलग तरीके हैं. जैसे कुछ लोग सुपर ट्रेंड लगाते हैं, कुछ लोग सिर्फ कैंडलस्टिक के बेसिस पे, स्विंग के बेसिस पे लगाते हैं, कुछ लोग एटीआर के बेसिस पे लगाते हैं. अब एटीआर होता है, एटीआर इज एवरेज ट्रू रेंज. दैट मींस फॉर लास्ट 14 days what was the average true range of any particular stock. For example, if I take the example of Nifty and try to find out what was the ATR, then I would just put the ATR indicator here and remove RSI. You see, this is ATR indicator, and ATR is telling me that on daily chart, Nifty has an ATR of 176. That means if today price has closed at say 11,000, then on the basis of ATR, we can have a guesstimate that either tomorrow the price will move up by 176 point from the closing, or it may move down 176 point from the closing. So there are some people who use 1.5 ATR as their stop loss, as their trailing stop loss. Are you understanding it, or should I simplify it further?
From the yesterday's closing, right? Not from the high, day's high.
No. It has to be from closing.
Okay.
And you can Google ATR and understand this concept. I find this concept very useful for both the things. Suppose I am doing intraday trading and I want to know what should be my first target for any breakout or any opening range breakout sort of thing. Then I use ATR for setting up my first target, whether it is for long or for short. I use ATR for deciding the target also. So ATR is a very simple and very useful concept. 99% of the people whom I speak to don't understand ATR, but they understand super trend. Now it is slightly funny thing because super trend is also a derivative of ATR. So those who really want to understand super trend have to first understand ATR. But the problem is that most of the softwares, they just plot the super trend for you and you start following it without understanding the concept behind it. If you see just you see this ATR, it is written as average. The full form is average true range. So you have to first understand what is a true range, then you understand what is the average true range. The best thing is to look for it in Google and other things, and then you can ask me in one of the webinars where whatever little things you don't understand. Otherwise, if I speak on ATR, I can speak on it for 2 hours without talking about anything else. But here, to answer your question, to set up intraday target, ATR is a very good tool. To set up trailing stop loss, you take a multiple of ATR, whether 1.5 multiple or 2 multiple, and you can use it as a trailing stop loss. Or still better, you can use a candlestick. Candlesticks are most underrated tools. See, in this particular chart, if you see the candlesticks, here the candlesticks were congesting, and this congestion was showing that there is a indecision. But you see this wide candle meant that there has been a decision. So the indecisive candle before the decisive candle can be used as a trailing stop loss. Are you getting me?
Yes.
So another answer of your trailing stop loss is that in whichever direction price is moving, there are certain decisive candles and there are certain indecisive candles. So wherever the decision is there, prior to that, you look out where there was indecision, and then you use that indecision as your trailing stop loss. So these are two major ways in which you can trail stop losses.
Yeah, thank you. Got it.
Welcome.
Sir, but how can we use this in 15 minutes chart, sir? Because we are taking the closing of the day. So in 15 minutes chart, how we can use it?
15-minute and 5-minute chart, you have to use candlestick. You cannot use ATR there.
Okay, right.
Because usually 5-minute and 15-minute are candlestick based trading. It cannot be indicator based trading. If you start reducing the time frame, you have to rely more and more upon the candlesticks. For example, you see this is the Nifty chart. Now here, this was the decisive candle. Some people call it explosive candle also. So just before this explosive or decisive candle, you have to see where were the indecisive candles. Now these two were indecisive candles. So if anybody had to put a trailing stop loss, he could have put the trailing stop loss here. Now similarly, you see here, this was the decisive candle. So you can move your trailing stop loss to the low of this candle. Similarly, you see this was today's decisive candle to the down. So if you are short, then you have to keep this decisive candles high as your stop loss. So whenever you are working intraday, you have to depend more and more upon the candlestick formations and how The wide bodied candles are termed as decisive candles or explosive candles, and how the indecisive candles are forming, and then you can use them for putting your stop loss. Sujit Bhosle is asking how to find correct supply and demand zone and how to find correct momentum. See, correction, what is correct? What is the definition of correct? Suppose there is an exam, and you know, all of us know that in an exam, anybody who scores more than 40 marks out of 100 is passed to the next class, is promoted to the next class. So usually 40% is considered correct, but in share market, less than 50 is never correct. But we can never score 100 out of 100 in share market. Demand and supply is again a very long and exhaustive subject. I have taken up it as a course material in my monthly program and also in my weekly program. But just to give you a formal introduction, we have to look for an explosive move or a wide bodied move like this or like this. Here, this was an explosive move to the down. Here, it was the explosive move to the up. Similarly, here you see these were the explosive move to the down. So whenever there is an explosive move, before that explosive move, there is a halt or a pause or an indecision. So that halt or that pause or that base, that forms the demand or supply. So in this case, we notice the pause here. So we can say that here a base was formed, and out of that base an explosive down move was noticed. So it becomes a supply zone. And when price again came to this point, you see again this supply through the price down. Similarly, I can draw a demand zone for you. Here it was an explosive up move, but before this up move, the price was halting here, pausing here, making a base over here. So this base becomes our demand zone. So you have to look for a explosive move and a base before that explosive move, and that defines your demand and supply zone.